welcome to another Tool Tuesday. I am your teacher, Mr. Whatever his name is, and I am here to talk to you about the random orbital polisher, also known as the power buffer, also known as the thing that makes your car look nicer. I'm going to talk to you about how this machine works, what it does, and how we can use all of these things here together to make your car look good as new. Better than new? Maybe. First, I want to talk about why this process is important. So over time, your paint and plastics will begin to fade. That's due to UV light from the sun breaking down the outer layer of clear coat and plastic, which forms a haze or causes it to glaze over. Also, don't mind the dent here. That was definitely the previous owner and not me.
But if you close your eyes...
Unfortunately, this will not buff out, but luckily, the faded paint and plastics can be rejuvenated with the use of the random orbit polisher. I used it on this headlight the other day, and you can see there's a significant improvement compared to this one. As far as tools go, this is a very simple one. So we've got a Velcro platform where we install our buffing pads. We have a variable speed setting. So if you want a nice slow setting, we can turn it down to 1, or if you want to buff very aggressively, you can set it all the way up to 6, and it'll speed up the process. And then we simply have a trigger to actuate the buffer. Whoa. An often overlooked feature on this machine is that it has a locking mechanism for the trigger so that you don't have to keep your finger on the trigger the entire time that you're using the machine. It works like this. Pretty nice. Obviously, you can't just use the machine like this, so I'm going to talk about some of the other parts that go along with it. This process is very similar to sanding wood, where we go from heavy grits to fine grits. So you can think of compound as a heavier grit that's going to knock down those big bumps and impurities. The polish is like a fine grit that's going to make it nice and smooth. And the wax, which we are going to apply at the end, helps to seal and protect the clear coat. We also have 2 different pads. So this is the cutting pad. It's made of a slightly stiffer material to make a more aggressive cut and speed up the initial process. And this is the finishing pad, which, as you can see, is a little bit spongier, a little bit softer to help make it real nice and smooth at the end. The nice thing about this whole process is that even if you don't have a power buffer, you can do all of these things with simple microfiber applicator cloths, and it will give you the exact same result as you would get from the power buffer. It'll obviously just take a little bit longer. Because I'm going to be applying compound first, I'm going to install the cutting pad onto the machine. And then what I'll do is, rather than apply the compound directly to the surface, I will put the compound onto the applicator pad. So after I'm finished, I'm going to show you a before and after picture. And if all goes well, it'll look better after. Hopefully. Also, when we're using this, we probably want to be wearing these because it makes a lot of noise! One thing that I almost forgot to do and forgot to mention is that you want to clean the surface that you're going to be working on first. Okay, now you know. All right, so now that we've hit this entire area, we need to wipe off any residual compound that was left on the surface. Now that it's cleaned up, you can already hopefully see an improvement in the finish. The longer that you spend on the compound stage, the easier and faster the polish and wax stage will go as well, and the better the overall finish will look. Let's keep going. These pads are a consumable item and they will break down, but you can usually make them last a decent amount of time if you use the tool properly. So I'm gonna swap out this cutting pad for the finishing one. And I'm gonna apply some polish. So these pads accumulate wear and tear, but they are reusable. And so what we want to do after we've used them, we want to wash them out with water. If we don't wash them, the compound and polish will harden and they will not be reusable. So we want to make sure that if they are reusable, that we wash them out in the sink. So we've applied compound, we've applied polish. Now all we have to do is apply
Wax.
The wax comes with its own microfiber applicator and we apply it by hand. As I said, if you spend a lot of time in the compound and polish stage, you shouldn't really have to spend too much time waxing. You just need to make sure that it gets a good coating on the entire surface. You simply take your applicator, get a little bit of wax on there, and wax on, wax off.
Wax on, wax off. Don't forget to breathe. Very important.
Be sure to apply the wax in a circular motion. And once you have coated the entire surface, buff and remove the wax with a microfiber towel. All right, well, it's not quite mirror finish, but I would say it's a significant improvement compared to what it was before, especially the headlights. That'll be nice. You almost can't see the dent anymore. Amazing. And that's all there is to it. I hope this process makes a whole lot more sense. And now that you all know how to do it, I expect that all of these cars will be spotless. See you next Tuesday.